Hi, folks. Welcome to the Moving On podcast. I'm Jay Norman, and this is my wife.
Hi, I'm Jessie Norman. Just like many of you, Jay and I have both walked through some difficult seasons in our lives.
And we know just how easy it is to get stuck.
We now have 5 beautiful
and crazy
children, and because of everything we've been through, our home operates on grace.
A concept we didn't fully understand until way later on in life.
Until we actually needed it ourselves. We want to share through stories of love and laughter,
How we were moving on and how big of a game changer grace can be.
in relationship with one another, and how we treat ourselves, and in our case, blending a family.
Something that may just require the largest amount of grace to date.
Preach.
You never know what road life's going to take you on. We have a podcast.
Yes, we do, and we really hope y'all enjoy it.
Good morning, babe.
Hi.
Babe, this is our first time ever to record in the morning. I'm kind of anxious to see how you're going to be today.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if I should be offended.
Don't be offended. It's just early.
I wondered too.
Yeah, so I've been gone for about 3 hours and worked out and back and showered and took one to practice
That feels weird.
Back to the house. And so we're still in the attic today and we're recording episode 14.
Did you go to the bro gym or CrossFit?
Bro gym.
And what did you work?
Chest.
You look like you're about to bust out of your work shirt.
Oh, yeah. Just busting out the wrong place.
No, you look big up top.
Thank you, babe.
Welcome.
So we've had a wild week. And I'll let you tell what we've been doing along with everything else we've been doing.
Yeah, he came and woke me up at like 6:40 with coffee, and he was like, "We're going to record in 20 minutes." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." That means I have to wake up enough to kind of write out where kind of our
direction.
We usually have a road map of what we're going to say, and we were going to record last night. The kids, they think it's a sorority house. The girls were in the pool till like 10 o'clock last night.
No, probably like 10:40.
10:40, and so Jay told him about 10 that we were going to record. So he almost recorded last night, but I was like, please give me one more night of sleeping with it, whatever.
So it has gotten deferred all week because we have we've had the kids and a lot going on the farm, and then we celebrated Jess's birthday Monday. Happy late birthday, babe.
Thanks a bunch. We had Cash's birthday is close to mine, so we had his big birthday party on Sunday, a big water slide, and his friends came and our family came. And then I was just thinking, since we're paying so much money for the water slide, let's get more bang for our buck. And so I invited our Bible study crew over. And so by the time our birthday party was driving out the driveway, our Bible study crew is driving in the driveway. And it was fine because all of those people that I'm listing are so easy to be around. You just kind of sit and talk. And the water slide does the babysitting. So Jay had mentioned going out of town for my birthday, just to Fort Worth, which is not far from here. And I was like, no, I think I'll be too tired, and I hate packing. So I don't want to pack during these parties, and I want to spend my birthday with the kids. And so anyways, I mentioned it to the kids a little bit just to see their reaction. And they just kept saying, don't we have the water slide on Monday? I wanted to spend your birthday with you. Don't we have the water slide? And I realized they just wanted... I just realized they wanted to water slide. But either way, I was like, I think I would just rather stay in.
Yeah.
So anyways, the party came and went. Bible study came and went. It came a flood. It came a storm.
Yeah.
And I told Jay, let's go. So
we left during a storm.
That's what we do. That's us.
At 9:40 at night.
I wanted to tell that story because that is us.
Yeah.
That's how we do our life. We do our life.
Packed in 10 minutes, out the door and gone.
Yep. Told the kids they're so used to stuff like that, so you don't have to worry. Like, are they gonna react differently or whatever? They got their shoes and got in the car.
Yeah, they were ready to roll.
They know.
Yeah. But all that added up to, I mean, we had an awesome easy day Monday. We had a hectic day Saturday and Sunday ahead of your birthday.
Yeah.
And that led us into an extremely hectic week.
Yeah, as soon as I got about 8.5 hours from a birthday, and then when the hammer came down, it was over. The minute we got back, we jumped in. Jay mentioned we may have missed sweet corn, and I was so happy we had missed it because I cannot stand it. Sweet corn is the most sweet corn. We grow sweet corn, and we try to teach the kids.
We grow just a little bit of sweet corn just for the kids to pick.
Enough. We grow enough. And so
more or less next year.
Way less. Let's just not. Let's just do the odd years.
Yeah.
Want to?
Yeah,
or every 3 years?
Sure.
So we grow a little bit of sweet corn. We had it in a field corn field, and we grow it so that the children can learn to work and learn to sell and just about business and instilling a hard work ethic in them. But it is hard work.
It is.
Teaching the kids
so we
how to
started
work.
Tuesday morning after birthday day, and we started picking at 8 o'clock. And as the week progressed, the last day we picked, it was about noon.
That doesn't even matter. I don't even know why you would mention that because we worked our butts off.
I know
it doesn't
that.
matter what time
Our
it was.
start time just moved back.
I was tired. I asked to put the brakes on about Wednesday.
Yeah, and so I'm different when something like that I've, we've invested money in and needs to be done. I kind of shift gears and have a certain game face I get on that doesn't go
And I'm not.
well.
I'm not the person that's like, well, we've spent $20 on these donuts, so we better eat them. I'm going to say it's worth $20 for me to throw them away and not gain the weight. With Jay, the busier and the more run down he gets, the faster he goes. So he slips into this whole other gear that you don't even know exists. And I'm just thinking, is this all worth our marriage? And we found out if it was.
And so we had, all the kids doing this, and we had them in all different states of, what would you call it? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Well, I mean, we had some running in pretty high gear and some, not even in gear.
Zombie.
We were just kind of pushing and trying to get them to move, and they did pretty good the first day. And overall, they did really well. So we picked the sweet corn by hand, and the first day...
Tell it from start to finish.
So from the start, we go out in the field, and you guys that farm, we got inrows around the field, and so we have got about... 90 foot of inrows that we got to walk through to get to the sweet corn. The first day, we just kind of grab boxes and laundry baskets and sacks and whatever and go pick. We weren't really prepared because I didn't know, really honestly, if we were going to be able to pick or what stage the corn was in. We had gotten really busy before that weekend, and I just didn't get to go look at it. So we go out there and start picking, and we pick about 500 or 600 ears that first day and tote all of them out by boxes. And so, a big cardboard.
But are we happy, or are we a family that day when we're done picking?
Oh, that first day was awesome. Yeah, they did really well.
You weren't with the kids that I was with, I guess. I guess you were.
They were afraid to say
You might have been on the
anything
phone.
wrong. Could have been. But anyway, we toted a lot of it out by hand, and it was a lot of work, and it was really hot.
It was
and
really hot.
humid, but they they did get it done. The second day, we took the four-wheeler and picked a path back there to where we could tote it out by four-wheeler. So every day we got a little more efficient. And then selling it wise, we went and parked at our local convenience stores and asked them in advance, and the kids set up and held signs and stuff, and we did that. We split up. You went one way and I went the other, and we did that around. And so we did that 5 days and picked. And by the end, they were getting a little worn down, and I don't know, the total we picked, but, one pretty good-sized cardboard box is about,
50 years.
Yeah, 40 to 50 years. And so, every day we were picking 12 to 13 of those and then standing outside selling them. So it was a different pace for them for sure, and it was hot, and it was a lot of work, and kind of wore them down to a nub by the end of the week.
For sure.
Yeah, but Fun or not fun? Y'all should see the look I'm getting right now.
We have 5 children. We have 5 children under 13. Mine don't do well in the heat. They just don't. They hate the heat unless they're in a pool or something. And so they just weren't themselves all week long. And we like, being like, suck it up, go help your brothers and sisters and go work. But it was just really trying to have kids that were done, and you and I were done.
Yeah.
We were dealing with them. We were this is how I can say it. The sweet corn came first this week, not our family, not our marriage, not our relationship. Our sweet corn came first.
And unfortunately, sometimes a farm life that can happen, whether it's planting or harvest or sweet corn or whatever. It happens, and you get kind of stuck in it a little bit. And
or your farmer sticks you in it. He still
your
doesn't
farmer
know
sticks
that
you
he's
in
done it.
Put your head down and kind of drags you along until we get to a stopping point. But ultimately, it was to teach the kids about work and all that. And I think they'll be happy whenever they get settled up and get a little bit of money out of it. And I think that's the purpose of it.
Yeah.
You seem so excited about it today.
I think, that I started out honest with you, that he said we might have one on my birthday. He goes, we might have missed it. I was like, that's okay. We're fine. And he's like, we might have one day to pick. Well, that sets my expectations of what the week is going to look like. So
next year it's 10. We're going to have 10 days of picking.
Well, I'm just telling you, when you let me know we're going to battle this for a day, I'm good. But when it went from Tuesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday to then on Sunday, he's asking me before church, let's go. And so I think next year, because our good friends in Gore, they set up at a park, and they're, the pickers are bringing truckloads to the main spot where they're selling, and everybody knows that's where they sell every year. And I just think that we need to have one spot where me is sitting. I got choked.
Keyword sitting. I noticed how you said pickers.
Under a tent. Well, you have to be there, obviously. And to drive them.
Okay.
And I'll be under the tent.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, and I'll be sitting in my favorite lawn chair.
Okay.
And I think that, if Mom is cool and happy, that this will all go so much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had this really hectic week, and it brought us to our, what we were talking about this week is that how we kind of let all that slide, and we let down some friends, taking care of family, taking care of our kids, taking care of ourselves. And, it kind of brought that up and things that we deal with every day along that line, and how we kind of figuring out how to try to change that. Yeah,
well, we needed to record on Wednesday, and we weren't really even speaking to each other by then. So we, to be able to sit in front of these mics and say anything that anyone is going to listen to, we have to be in a pretty good place with each other. And so if our relationship gets attacked, so does our podcast.
Yeah.
So we know that's what's happening. But either way, Wednesday through Sunday, we weren't speaking. And so...
Go ahead.
And so our producer kept saying,
hello.
But what's funny is we all talk on the same thread. We text on the same thread. And so he's texting us on the same thread, and we're not speaking to each other. And so we kind of have to get word to him. Oh, goodness. But anyway, so he had sent over the most beautiful meme or quote for us to read. And it was just so perfect for what we were wanting to talk about this week. So do you want to read it, babe?
Sure. Stop hating yourself for what you aren't and start loving yourself for what you are.
So there was a day in there, I guess on Saturday. I think we've said before that I coach and I help a group of coaches in an association. We go year-round, all ages, kind of from, third grade through high school.
And that's basketball. Yep.
Basketball, sorry. And it's in a few towns over, and a lot of our children play in this association. And for about a month, we've known that we needed help on this one-day event, and there was a lot of work that went into it. And so at the same time, sweet corn was happening. So instead of helping them get ready, I was in the field with the kids. And so I kept thinking, that's okay, because on Saturday, I'll be there from setup till pull down. What do you call it? Take down.
Clean up, yeah.
And I was like, I'll make up the whole week that I was in the field. I'll make it up in one day on Saturday. And so to my friends and that run the association. And by Saturday, we were all so trashed, I couldn't even imagine going anywhere. And the kid's dad called and said Cash had pink eye. They were at his grandmother's. And so I had to cancel the event that I've been knowing about for a month. I had to cancel going there to go get Cash. And it wiped out my whole week in my head.
Yeah.
It made me feel like a loser. It made me feel I was guilt-ridden. I felt like I was the worst friend, flaky, and unreliable. And it was like in one fell swoop, you wiped out everything that you had accomplished in one little moment.
Right. In your mind, you did.
And so what I had to remember was, and this is even before our producer sent this, is I had to remember, even though I'm being a crappy friend right now and I'm letting my friends down, I'm being a really good mom because I drove up kind of to where their grandmother lives and got him and took him to the little clinic to get some medicine. And then just spent the day with him so that he wasn't around cousins or siblings or, we didn't know if it was contagious, so we didn't want to spread it through a 4th of July weekend. And so anyways, that's where I was, and just trying to bring back the focus to we're all so hard on ourselves and we're so quick to forget the things that we're doing. Maybe we're having to say no to a friend or let a friend down. It's not because we're sitting on the couch eating bonbons. I mean, maybe you are, but I'm just saying it's not ever because of that. And so just to have a lot more grace for ourselves and remind ourselves that if we are letting a friend down, to look at it from the other angle, that you're being a wonderful mom today.
Right.
So when he sent that over last night, I thought that is so pertinent to what we were discussing this week. Well, we didn't discuss much this week, but yesterday.
But, even when you're saying that, you're giving yourself, basically saying give yourself credit for what you did right. And we didn't, even with each other, what we got right with each other. We gave each other no credit at all this whole week for what I did good for you and what you did good for me. In our mind, that's like it never happened.
Well, what we do, and we've already discussed this, is if we're mad at the kids, our family, our friends, what's happening, we just take it out on each other.
Yeah.
So
we know we can get away with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and for me, just outside of us, I mean, just this week too, but a lot of weeks, I've got my best friend from college who I love talking to, and, and I haven't seen him in probably 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And, I've gotten out of the habit of talking to him. We used to talk at least once a week and twice a week. And now, it's maybe by text once a month or something.
Right.
I feel like I let him down Saturday. We were loaded up, busy, and my cousin called and, I really wanted to talk to him, but right at that minute, I didn't have time. And, of course, we never found the time with what was going on.
Right.
And that's just something, every day that we deal with, those things we feel like we let people down, even though, I talk to other people, and took up that space. But those ones are the ones that stay on my mind.
Yeah. And I think they're on your mind for a reason.
Yeah.
But that's what we wanted to talk about this week is we all kind of walk around with something that we're wishing we did differently. So if you're going to bed and going, I wanted to run today and I didn't get it done, or you're finishing your week and you're thinking, I didn't even call my cousins, or I didn't even call my siblings this week, and I wanted to do that. And so what we're wanting to talk about is just attaching things that you're wanting to do to things that you don't have to think about doing, which we call your sets.
Right.
So just using your sets. We all wake up, we all go to sleep, we all shower, we all go to the bathroom, we all drive more than we want to. And so taking the things that you're wanting to do more often, with Jay, it's calling his friend Dave or calling his cousin and checking on him. With me, it's stretching, calling my siblings, and running.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to do all of those three things. And so attaching them to the things that are set in your life. And so what's really neat is things that you're wanting to do right now can become sets. And so I think you've heard 21 days, something becomes a habit.
Right.
So it's hard to think of something you don't do right now becoming something you do without thinking about it, but you have one recently.
Well, you're talking as far as working out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, that definitely, when I finally got that switch flipped back, and after being out for a while and got back going, and I guess working on 8 months now of, haven't missed many 5-day-a-week workouts since then. And some, I've had more than that in a week. And that's been nice. And another one for me is, I was a bad sweet tea-aholic and started out sweet tea and then went to fake sweet tea. And we're talking, a gallon to a gallon and a half a day, not counting what I would drink if I ate lunch somewhere. And I guess about 13, 14 weeks ago, sometime through there, I just quit one day, just quit drinking tea. We kind of made a deal.
We made a deal. I remember it. With Jay, when we go out to dinner and you drink a glass or two or maybe 3, maybe the lady will bring you 2 refills. Jay drinks differently. So he's a bigger guy, and he can possibly drink 7, 8, 9 drinks at a sitting.
Or more.
Or more, you think?
No, yeah.
So what was breaking my heart is he had switched from sweet tea. You really do look so muscly sitting there. I swear your seams are about to bust. But anyway, you look so pumped this morning.
Thank you, babe.
And so anyways, we're getting a post-pump podcast.
There you go.
And so I'm going to take a picture and put it on. So anyways, going back to the 8 or 9 refills, he had gone from sweet tea to unsweet tea the way, and that was taking about 4 Splenda. What had you gotten up to? How many Splenda?
6.
He had gotten up to 6 Splenda.
And on the glass size, but...
Yeah. So just imagine every time that waitress coming, he was ripping 6 Splenda and pouring it in. So 6 times 9 is 54 packets of Splenda. So if we're sitting at, and you think that's weird, it's just what was happening. That's how it had gotten. It got away from us.
I didn't even know I was doing it. Yeah.
Got away from him. And like it was happening to us. And so anyways, when we're done eating.
Well, you did get to look at the pile on the table.
Yes.
And it didn't bother you.
It made me almost want to stroke out.
Yeah.
And so, there's this pile of Splenda packets, and it just looked so just heartbreaking and unhealthy. And, I'm in that industry. And so I was just like, I cannot even, I don't know what to do. I'm not his mom. I can't. So we go on a walk, and I just remember going, we're on a walk on our driveway. And I said, what's it going to take? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, what do you want? What do you want from me to give up your tea. And he didn't even think about it. He goes, your wine. And I said, done. So on that day, we gave up my wine and his Splenda, and he switched right over to water. And
I haven't had even a sip of tea since then.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
And so then after that, I got started drinking Diet Coke a little bit, which I am still doing. But now, and I even told you this, I'm drinking 3 bottles of water before I can drink a Diet Coke.
That's a trick from our coach at CrossFit. Her name's Brista. She's a games athlete, and that's something she taught us is the drink that you're wanting. This doesn't count coffee, or it might count her coffee. She's so disciplined, but the drink that you're wanting, whether it's Diet Coke or
sweet tea, whatever.
Set an amount of water that you have to win that drink. So she wants a gallon or so by noon, and so when she wakes up, she has to drink her entire container of water before she gets her fun drink. And so that's where our stuff came from, is from her. Is we all wake up and there's something that we all want. So whether I want a Diet Coke or you want a Diet Coke or I want to get on my phone, then that's a really great way to bargain with yourself on after you wake up and before you get on your phone, these are the things that you're wanting to accomplish. And so setting those things. And it's different for all of us.
Right.
So it's just a really good way to attach it. If there's anything you're wanting to do for yourself, just kind of putting pen to paper and saying, weeks have gone by and I was wishing that I was doing this and I'm not. And so I'm going to attach it to this.
Well, like for me, stretching is one that, we were out for a long...
are you not flexible?
No, not at all.
I don't think anyone at the gym could tell.
And it's not
in our stretch circle.
I mean, that knee's supposed to go to the ground? I didn't realize that. But anyway, that's one that I've got to figure out. I still haven't figured it out. I've got to figure out some way to put it in my program because it's going the wrong direction in a hurry. So.
We've said we have Rumlot on our phone. We said we were going to do it before bedtime.
I hate stretching though.
I know, but we do need to attach stretching to Game of Thrones. We just need to, and just say, if you're going to watch it, you're going to be stretching.
You'd be stretching 4 hours a night.
Yes.
9 to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Thanks, Bub. Thanks for outing us. And so, that's a good way to do that. I was raised in the church and raised watching my mom get in her Bible every morning. And I think as a child, or a teenager at least, I was in the Word every morning, or just with a little devotional for girls or devotional for students. But as I got married and had children, that I got away from it. And it's been a source of guilt for me for, I'm not even kidding, 20 years. And of course, I was in the Word when we were in church, or if something came across my phone, or talking with friends, or I'm very big on videos. And so, of course, if the videos I'm watching and they're reading scripture or our pastor's reading scripture, of course I'm getting in the Word. But as far as me getting alone with God in my Bible or in a devotional, that hasn't been a part of my life for a really, really, really long time.
No.
So, and it was something that was really eating at me, and there was just no excuse, and I was strangled by it. I wasn't passing it down to my children. We woke up every morning and saw my mom on the couch reading her Bible. She didn't flaunt it. She didn't shove it in our faces. She didn't drive us crazy with it. She just simply sat there in the Word and let us see.
She just did it.
She just did it. And anyway, so I guess it's been about 4 weeks ago. I don't know why. I don't know if it's age or maturity or enough was enough. I just flipped a switch and I said, I'm going to set my alarm and I'm going to wake up and get in my devotion and in my Bible. And until I do that, I can't check my phone, which is something I love. So
that's your trade-off.
Yeah, which is something I love to do, because when you wake up, you've got a bunch of messages, maybe some Facebook messages, Instagram messages. It's just a neat part of the morning is to see what happened after you went to bed. And so it's a neat trade-off for me. And what's really neat, though, is it was hard figuring out how I was going to say this on the podcast, because it sounds so, what?
I don't know.
It sounds so conceited. Like, here I am, I'm in my Bible. Like, I don't ever want it to, of course, I don't ever want it to sound like that. And I probably don't even have to say that to you guys, because you know my heart by now. But I did want to talk about it just because I went from being so guilt-ridden, and it was in the back of my mind that no matter what I did right, it was always a wrong in the back of my head.
Well, it's just one of those things that you feel like you were letting down what your mom, was a good example for you for.
Well, and when I was getting empty with you or empty with the kids, I wasn't filling my cup every morning. I wasn't in his presence every morning.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of driving me crazy. But anyways, why I was wanting to talk about it is because it went from something I was really, really wanting to something that is, just part of my life now. You were wanting to work out, and now you do. Yeah. And if you don't, it really bothers you. We even went, on my little birthday trip, and it was just not even a question. Was I gonna or wasn't I? It's become one of my sets. So what we were discussing is now you can attach other things to these new things that you've brought on. Right. So where I was wanting to get in the Word and trying to establish that as a habit, that's now established. And so if there's something else, for me, is running. Right. So now my new thing is, until I wake up earlier than the kids, get in the Word, and go on a run, I can't check my phone. And so now you can kind of start adding to your pile. And what I always say is just get a neat, beautiful journal and some beautiful pens. This is more for my girls. Just a beautiful journal from Target or wherever, and some great pens, and just put pen to paper the thoughts that you're wanting to change about your life. And do it before the kids wake up. It's a really special time. I know you lose sleep, but if you can get it done, you'll be really thankful you did.
Well, and I think, too, figuring out how to transition that in to each other and what we do for each other. Mm-hmm. Let's not do this until we get that done. Yeah. Figure out a way to make that work. And you mentioned something, I don't remember what you said about Steve Madden or podcasts.
Oh, yeah. I always tell you guys this, but my favorite on earth podcast is Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. And he had Steve Madden on this week, and he was a really great guest if y'all want to go listen to him. And he was saying that he was just I really enjoyed listening to him because he had a lot of humility. He's been in prison, and he's 61. So by this point in his life, he's got a pretty good look on things. And he was saying that he's so narcissistic, which I love that humility. Yeah. But he's like, I want to walk into every room and just tell everyone about myself. And it made me laugh. And he said, so now I know that when I go into a room, I'm going to ask 3 questions of other people about themselves before anything else happens. Right. And that spoke to me because I feel like we're all really just wanting to tell our story, but we don't really invest in others. Right. As I don't as much as I should. Right. And so that's something that I'm really wanting to take on. I want to steal that from him and pass on to you guys. I think, one of our episodes, just investing in others to kind of get above water, how helpful it is for ourselves, just implementing that. And that's one of those that I had written down as one of your sets. And so if maybe you're maybe you're coming from a place where you're wishing your relationships were better. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're wanting deeper relationships in your friendships, deeper relationships, and with your marriage. Maybe when you step out of the shower, that's when you know to send a few texts like that.
Right.
Or when you get done driving and you get to Walmart, sit in the parking lot and send a few texts to your friends or your husband or wife and just ask about their day.
Right.
And I think that can help you start down the path that you need to be on.
Well, like for me, when I finish working out, whether it's 6 o'clock in the morning or if I go later and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, what I've been trying to do is, if it's 6 o'clock, call those friends that I know are up early. Mm-hmm. And if it's 7 o'clock, call the ones that are up later. And even if it's just one call to that person or somebody that I forgot to call back or whatever, that's something that I've tried to, get started implementing, doing that. And
for sure. I like that.
Fill it in and do it just because I have that time and I'm driving and it works. So
I like that. I think just sitting down and seeing what do you do every day that you don't have to think about, right, and seeing what you need to attach to it.
Right. Well, and it's hard to stay consistent doing that, but something we for sure all got to work towards. Mm-hmm. Fill the spots where we can.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So what else you got, babe?
I think you were wanting, I liked that quote that you had showed me this morning.
Oh, on gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Mm-hmm. I had heard this week, I think it was on the same podcast I was talking about, that when you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be in any other state.
Right.
So when you're saying thank you for something, you can't at the same time feel mad or feel wronged. You can't complain. You can't feel anger. Gratitude takes the whole space. And so that's something I was trying to teach one of my little girls this week. Mine just kind of thrive on sleep and air conditioning, which is all you wanted for Father's Day. Yep. So that's kind of funny. All our family wants is air conditioning because we're always not in it. But anyways, so as the week went on, she kind of slipped into a dark place, and I recognized it because that's how I was when I was little. And I pretty much ruined every family function. She's not ruined our functions. I did. I ruined many family functions by whining and pouting and not getting my way and making everything about me. And so when one of my kids acts that way, I can quickly recognize it. And so that's what I was just trying to teach her is just if you can just muster enough energy to start telling God thank you in your head for the things that you love. Thank you, God, for my stuffed animals. Thank you, God, for my new flare pens. Thank you, God, for my dog Stetson. And I was just trying to teach her that those thank yous can pull you out of that space that you've gotten to as a very tired, hot little girl that we all understand, but we just need you to suck it up a little bit.
Stepdad takes a suck it up a little too far sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And just instead of taking the breath in your lungs to complain and the breath in your lungs to be negative and ugly, to take it to express the gratitude that you have for the things that are in your life. We're a family of 7.
Yeah.
And we're not in hospitals. We're not we're healthy. All 7 of us are healthy. We don't have that scenario in our lives, and how easy would it be, to have that in our lives. And so I just wake up every morning and just tell God, thank you for our health. Thank you that the 7 of us walk around this earth and are able to do exactly what we're wanting to do because we've not been dealt that hand, and I don't want to ever take that for granted because so many of our friends are dealing with sickness in the children or cancer in one of the parents. And so whenever we start sweating the small stuff or complaining about the how hot it is, or I just tripped over the end row for the 15th time holding 60 pounds of corn in a laundry basket. We can suck it up, you know. We got to keep perspective.
If you look at that quote and you read it, and, turns what we have into enough. I mean, we have what we need.
We do.
And we got more than we need. And so that's got to be enough. You just got to, it's just hard to see that every day.
It is enough.
Yeah.
So I like that quote a bunch.
Yeah, I do too. That's why it kind of stuck in my head when I saw it. And what else you got, baby?
I think that's it. I think just going back to, putting pen to paper and what are the regrets that you have in your life that you just, everything's going great, but I just wish that last week I would have hit more classes or called more of my friends or siblings. What are things that you finished your week thinking, gosh, I wish I was doing that and I'm not?
Yeah.
And attaching those things to what you've already conquered.
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom. Going to the bathroom or driving. These things that we do every single day that we don't even have to think about, attaching those things to it.
Right. So what is your set? What's your trick for that's going to be the running? The main thing you're going to add?
Yeah. Well, mine is running. I have 3 older siblings and they're all married. And so pretty much 6 siblings that I need to be talking to way more. And so mine is going to be communicating with them more. And I know I was about to pull the plug on our whole podcast.
I didn't unplug the hot water heater up here in the attic, and it just came on, and she nearly pulled the plug on the.
And that is because our kids are here.
That's right.
We never record while our kids are here.
Nor ever in the morning.
Yeah, and so our kids are here right now, so that's why our hot water heater came on. And so I don't remember what I was saying.
Sorry, I had to
What's my thing?
Yeah, what's your thing?
Yeah, running, stretching, and I'm sure there's more important ones. I'm just coming off of a really, really important one, which was for myself, I wanted to be getting in scripture every single morning. What's funny is that was our sermon this week.
Yeah.
It's so funny because
that's happened to us multiple times since we started doing this too.
So many times. Yeah. And if he would have done the sermon and I would have thought, okay, now's the time. I need to just just do it. Just do it. Rip off the Band-Aid and just wake up, Jesse, and get in the Word.
Yeah.
But what was so nice is I got to sit there and feel I got to just sit there and know I've got this. I've finally figured this out for myself, and this is important. I could be in agreement with him instead of feeling even more guilty sitting there. And he didn't want anyone to feel guilty, but I'm just saying. And so just coming off of that big one, now I get to focus on some other smaller ones until...
Well, you're headed in the right direction, and hopefully you start that and something comes along to, to confirm or, what you've done.
For sure. And I think this whole getting in the Word with our, I was talking about our sermon, was getting in the Word ourselves and getting in Scripture as a family. And I think that is something that we could talk a whole lot more about next time.
Right.
So,
well, mine's going to be stretching.
Stretching.
I'm going to work on that.
You're so cute. You should see his face right now.
I'll be so limber.
You're so. Oh, I don't know if that's attractive to me. You walk up to me and throw your leg on the wall.
Now I'd just like to kick you in the knee. Oh. And something else kind of, off topic of that is that, last podcast was 13. That was halfway. And something we didn't do was thank our listeners for listening and for all the comments and, for the people that listen, like we've said before, that I would never think about listening. We appreciate you guys. And we appreciate the ones that have, put us on Instagram and thanked us and talked about us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we have one main one that I don't even know what to say. I am going to buy her a mansion. I don't know. Her name is Whitney, Farm Wife Guru. And she is she has taken it upon herself, not even knowing us, but I don't even know how she found us. I would probably like to know that.
Yeah.
But from the first, moment that we got going, she has been our biggest support and she has a huge following. And
on Instagram?
On Instagram, well, everywhere, but her Instagram is it's a strong group of farm women. And she doesn't have, 10,000 followers, but what the followers that she has is plugged in. So you'll notice that. You'll see somebody have 20,000 followers, but maybe there's only like 30 likes and maybe a comment or two. What Whitney has is a smaller base, but they're all plugged in.
Right.
And so whenever she says, you guys have got to hear this podcast, which I can't even imagine that I'm saying that right now, that she says that, it's still so bizarre to me because we're new and anyways, I should have prepared what I was going to say because I'm still so dumbfounded by her love and by her support that I still cannot put words on it.
Right.
But anyways, anytime she says, you guys have got to go hear them, we get like 100 or 200 new listeners.
Right.
And I'll send her screenshots of the follows and she's like, there's my girls, that's my girls. And so it just screams so loudly to me that she uses her amazing influence that she's been given to help us, people that she doesn't even know.
Right.
And so we just wanted to tell her thank you. Thank you, Whitney, so much. We appreciate you so much. We thank God for you every day. And they're in Kansas. And so they are starting their wheat harvest this morning.
Right.
And so she had a picture on Instagram of her and 2 of her 3 littles and a little car seat. The car seat was going in the tractor. And she was going to have her two of her littles, and her husband was going to have the other one. So she's in for a very long day today. And we want to tell her
long week.
Yeah, that we're thinking about her and cannot wait to hear how harvest is going and praying for their whole family. And we just want to tell her thank you.
And what find her where on Instagram?
Farm Wife Guru, all one word. And I'll make sure after this episode comes out to highlight her on our Instagram. That way you don't have to remember it from right now. You can just see it on there.
So thank you, Whitney, and thank you for all our listeners. We appreciate you after this half a year of doing this and look forward to moving forward with you.
Yes.
What else you got, babe?
That's all, babe.
All right. Well, as the song says, the road goes on forever and the party never ends.
I love you.
And I love you too. We sure appreciate y'all listening today. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can search for us, Moving On Podcast. That's 3 words, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We would love to hear from you. With ways you're figuring out how to drop the ropes in each of your own lives, and even ways that you're not, hell, that's just as entertaining to us. See you in a couple of weeks.